popular ones are the usual, yung BGC, Green Hills, San Juan, Pasig, and most of it are driven by supply and demand. So kunwari, you're talking of the villages, the exclusive villages, usually these are villages that was developed in the 1970s, in the 1980s, so now they're fully built up. When they're fully built up, the families there are quite stable, kaya supply is very low. And when the next generation comes in, or the third generation, they also want to be nearby. And if they're capable, they will buy it at the high price. So that's what's driving the prices up in exclusive villages. It's just really looking at from the concentric circle, di ba? The center is the most expensive and you move farther and farther out. That's why kung makita mo yung the MRT is starting to flow out from the Quezon City point of view. It's flowing out to the Fairview and all the way to the Novaliches, then all the way to the San Jose del Monte, Bulacan. That single piece of rail is already a sign that that's where the development will grow. So if I was looking for some property na more affordable, I will look along those line of that MRT7 going out towards San Jose del Monte, Bulacan. That would be how you analyze it.
Would you say that Taguig has taken out Makati, or Makati is still number one in terms of glamour from a residential standpoint also?
Not Taguig as a whole. No, I think BGC is a condominium area. So it won't beat the Forbes Dasma. Kasi, in a Forbes, in a Dasma, you need at least 1 billion pesos to be able to enter that community. Makati, the Forbes Dasma will still be higher ranking because in the Philippines, mas tayo, house and lot community. Vis-a-vis as Singapore, where it's mostly, or Hong Kong, mostly condominiums.
In the long term, when you start computing it also, if you live far, maybe you get something that's cheaper. Will that come out also more expensive over the long term?
So I buy a townhouse, apartment, far away, 1 hour, 1.5 hours, or I just go to a small condo in BGC or in Makati or along Pioneer, where it's cheaper but nearby also. So
even Ortigas.
Yeah, Ortigas, yeah. So definitely for me, I believe that yung quality of life is more important than the perceived space. Di ba minsan people will say, hindi, mas maluwag dito eh. I feel that yung maluwag is a more mental than an actual physical issue. Are you buying for yourself, or are you buying for rental, or are you buying it to sell in the future? Of course, pwede mo naman in-mix and match yun, pero it helps to be clear what is the purpose. Okay, why is that important? For example, if you're buying for yourself, then lahat ng considerations are all geared towards you, your family, your location, your social movement, everything convenient for you. And if you're buying naman as an investor, it has to be all about your target tenant. And if you're buying naman as an investor, it has to be all about your target tenant. What you don't want to happen is, ayoko yung property na yan, malayo sa bahay namin yan. But there's a strong rental market in that area. Or, ayoko yung property na yan, I'm not familiar. So, are you seeing the difference now?
Yeah.
Enrique, diba? So, yan. So, I'm gonna share with you the 6 framework to consider, no? There's price, market, growth, supply, budget, and quality. When you buy a property kasi, just like anything else, you don't buy anything above its market value. Yung mahal. When you buy a car, diba, you try to compare na, okay, this brand is ganung price. Uy, value for money. Uy, this car is a Benz. It's a Lexus. Mas mahal siya. Understandable. So, yan yung range. What you don't want to happen is you're buying, let's say, a Toyota at the price of a Lexus. Parang ganon. So, number one is the price. It has to be within a range. What is the meaning of a range when you buy a property? Pwedeng it's at the lower portion of the range, good deal. Pwedeng at the higher portion of the range, still a good deal. Kasi within the range. You just want to be aware na where you are in that range. For example, you're buying a house and lot or you're buying a lote, and then after mo i-gauge, uy, itong presyo na to is at the lower portion of the range. Let's buy it na, baka maunahan pa tayo. Pwede rin, uy, itong lot is at the higher price of the range. But still, I like it because maybe there's a nice view, or it's across a park, or you like the feel of the property. Okay lang din if it's in the top range of the price. What if the price is above the range? Do I buy it? Here's the answer. It is still okay to buy property above the range as long as, number one, you are aware that it's above the range and you are okay with it. We see many properties also sold being in that price point, yung above. Why? The buyer can afford it. I'm okay, I can afford it. Second, I don't have the time to haggle. I want to buy now. And if this is the price, I'm okay with it because I am aware. I know that after 3, 4, 5 years, the price will catch up and it will still be a good buy for me. When you buy a property, you do the comparative analysis. You do this already in buying other things. Diba? Kunwari, you want to buy a laptop. Pwede mo isipin na, hala, I can buy a desktop now with this amount na mas faster and I can have a bigger screen. But I don't have the portability. So balik ako sa laptop. So this kind of comparison, you also do for property. For example, a property is being sold to you for, let's say, 15 million. Now you're gonna think, what can I buy with this 15 million? And pag naisip mo na, wala na talaga. This is what I want. For 15 million, this is what I want. It may not be the cheapest, it may not be perfect, but it's perfect for me.
So let's say you have a purpose. I want to invest. I'm not going to live here. Do we start off with price na ba next? Or do we think of market ba next?
Which brings us to the number 2 framework, market. If you are buying as an investor to rent out, diba? I want you to think, who is the market that will be renting out my condo or my land or my townhouse? So, sobrang dami niyan, Enrique. Sobrang daming range. Let me share with you. Starting in, let's say, a construction worker market, a factory worker market. And that is a good market, diba? If your property is beside a gigantic warehouse, affordable, budget-conscious property that can cater to 2,000, 3,000 workers. The SM, Landmark, National Bookstore, Robinson Supermarket, Tindera, the working class. That's also a market segment, and we've seen a lot of wealthy people catering to that market segment. If you play your cards right, should be a steady flow of market. Then as you go up, you have the office worker, admin, accounting, marketing. Those might have a salary range between 15, 18, 25, 30K. Pag ganun naman yung market mo, you have a condominium, you can do sharing. So if your area, like in BGC, it's a high office worker market, then your product should be something for them. Kailangan may aircon na, malinis yung CR. Usually, pag let's say a BGC condo, that's where it starts. Yung, kunwari, one room but shared by 4 office worker. Kasi malalayo, tiga Cavite sila, Novaliches, the work is in BGC. So if your market segment is double income, corporate, with kids, usually kailangan mo na ng parking. You don't want to target a couple with 2 kids. Price point, then wala kang parking. It's just a mismatch. It won't work. It's always about the market. Okay, then papasok na dyan yung townhouse. You don't see a single guy renting a townhouse, di ba? Yeah. Couple, usually double income, 2 kids, with 1 car park, 2 car park townhouse. Budget can go from 20,000 to 30 to 45, all the way up. After the office market, the senior manager market, mas mataas ang salary nila. They can go 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom condo in business district. And then lastly, you go to the expat market. Lahat yan are opportunities. Nothing is better than the other. Because the expat market, although they have a higher budget, the capex that you need to buy those expensive property, iba rin. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 digits. Diba? So, kung ano nang afford natin, diba? That's the market we enter. The expat market, marami pa yan. It can be Indian, Japanese, Caucasian, Australian, junior, senior, ambassador level, di ba? Ang laki na ng range from 100,000 a month to 300 to 500 to ₱1,000,000 a month. Then you have the ambassador, they would go for houses in Forbes Park, Dasma, because they need to entertain guests, they need bigger family hall and living room, party areas.
Yeah.
If you are buying a property and you want to sell it in the future, you also have to think, who is my buying market in the future? For example, New Valley. I'm going to buy New Valley because in 10 years' time, I'm going to cater to the market who is unable to afford a Quezon City village. Remember, in the 1900s, Escolta was a center of business. When you were offered Makati, ang layo yun.
Layo.
Yeah, exactly. It's okay to move to farther areas, especially the air is cleaner there and the life is less stress. You don't need to always be in like a Metro Manila, in expensive Metro Manila, just to enjoy life.